Okay. So everybody find this portrait. You're going to either redraw it like I'm doing, or see if you can see through your page. Can you guys see it through the page? If you want to trace this right now, that's fine with me. Okay, I'm going to take a second and I'm going to talk through how I would do it and talk through just a really quick proportions lesson. That way if you want to review it later, it'll be online. If you want to try it without tracing, you can. I actually taught anime to a student, and this is how I did heads with like a big circle. I had a private student years ago, and I taught him how to do anime heads. So I would just do this huge circle up top and a small circle at the bottom, and then connect it. And that was kind of a cool way to start a head shape. And I'm going to speed through this. If you guys want to just trace yours, that's cool. What's that? Yeah. So like I said, if you want it, you're going to try to get this on your page. Hey guys, when you do it though, don't draw it dark because you're going to have to erase it. You can either trace right through your page right now, or if you want to try to draw it like I'm doing, I'm just drawing it freehand. Okay, so I started with my head shape. I'm going to divide it in the middle. I actually like to measure it, kind of weird. But you want your vertical line. And I also measure from top to bottom with that even speed. And I draw my line for my eyes. And that's a little bit higher up, so I'm going to actually make my eye shape a little bit above and below that. So if I'm going too fast, don't worry, because you can just trace it later. And I'm already like erasing crazy, so this is why I said you need an eraser. You don't need all those lines. Alright, so the face is symmetrical. That's why we have our line of symmetry. The eyes are in the center. That's why we made it in half. This is the kind of challenging part, but you want 5 eyes across, so I kind of guess by marking side to side, and then I'll measure out. This is if you don't have my template to trace again. And that's just about, that's pretty good. That way your eyes have this equal width in between. And then I'm going to keep going again. You guys are tracing if you want. But down from the eyes is the nose, and about halfway from the eyes and the chin, I'm going to do the top of the eyes. It's the bottom of the nose. And then the mouth can be weird. This is actually, I think, the bottom of the mouth. And then like the center. And the top lip. I always do too small of a chin. That's one of my problems with doing a face. And then you want to draw, like, guess where the pupil is. Draw down. And you could just draw what you see on the paper, too. Mine's a little bit uneven. On my paper, make sure you guys draw the top of the ear. Look, at the top of the eyelid, top of the ear. And look, the bottom of the ear is across from the nose, so there's kind of like a line straight across. The hairline's always so weird. It's kind of, it's supposed to be a third of the way. So it's like if you're going to measure it a third, actually that's exactly what it is. It looks like it's at the nose though. That's weird. Hold on. Okay. So a third of the way down, I mean you guys have it marked on there. You just want to make sure there's enough room for hair. Because when you look in the mirror or look at a portrait, you can see the hairline is here, especially for guys. Like a lot of guys have like a hair shape like this, that you leave room for the hair. So the last mark that you're going to do is a hairline. The head shape's another whole story. And I'm going to move over to a brighter side of the paper now. Alright, underneath the ears though, make sure you draw the neck. So by now you should probably be either finishing up copying me or don't make your neck too wide. That looks a little bit too wide. So the neck actually goes straight up like a finger width inside the ear. And then make sure your shoulders don't go straight across. They go down at an angle a little bit. If you guys want to keep this sheet this way till next class, I know that for next period, but I will give you guys copies of it. Was it easy to treat? And if anybody wants to go ahead, you're welcome to draw eyes, nose, mouth from my pictures, from a picture of yourself if you want to go ahead. So you guys can see this through. I like never say trace, right? I am today. Is that right? Yeah, you forgot to go ahead and teach eyes. Probably the coolest thing to learn. What's the other one? When you do some of yourself? I'm like, if you draw it yourself, you get trace. What else do I do? I can't imagine. Oh, sculpture. Oh, like on the iPad? I think I do that too. Alright guys, I'm going to get started with eye shapes. If you guys don't have a mirror, you probably want to look at something online. I did not print out eyes, nose, mouth for you. So if you don't have a mirror, I would actually take a picture of yourself really quickly to look at. I'm going to use my nose. That means I'm not teaching you all of your noses. I'm going to show you variety. Okay, so if you don't have a picture of yourself, get an iPad or a phone or print a FaceTime. Actually, I never take a picture either. I'm like, I work from light because that's how I was taught. It's definitely flatter if you work from a picture. Alright, do you guys need like 30 seconds? I'm ready. Alright, also when I get to eyelashes, I'm going to need a sharpener, so I have a sharpener ready. I have my students' names for next period. Alright guys, I'm going to get started. Brian, thanks for helping. Are you ready? Alright guys, just so you know, inside here is actually the nose. So like the eye width, actually erase everything inside your eye for now. And ladies, make sure you're not talking for now, so you can be with me. Or if you're not with me, make sure you're not talking so other people can hear. Alright, so this is actually my eye shape here. What shape are eyes? There's like 3 things you could say. Oval. I would say not circle. What else? Sam, what'd you say? I can't do it. What was the other thing?
Triangle.
No. What about a football? Right? You know what I think it looks like? It's kind of weird. Is a lemon or an almond shape, right? So look at your eye in the mirror. Actually, why don't you guys watch for a sec, because this is actually pretty cool. If you put your line about a third of the way up, like say here's halfway, your eye is actually going to be a majority above in the top third. Okay? So if you want to watch, I think this is really smart if you just see how this shape works. I used to like only draw one eye because drawing the other eye was so hard. But if you draw and start I have a little tear duct shape that looks like, it always looks like a duck when I'm done. But look, it goes kind of straight up really fast first, and then it kind of goes slowly down. I'm going to make it a little bit, there we go. So if you guys watch, just watch for a sec. Straight up first, slowly down, and then look at the bottom. It's actually slow curve first, and then it goes dramatically up at the end. So you kind of have these parallel angles. So again, the bottom is kind of very shallow curve, a third of the way down, not halfway. And then you've got this like duck-looking face, tear duct. This goes straight up really fast, and then it curves kind of slower down to your point. And then I got to get rid of this line in between. You can actually get rid of everything outside of it. Again, if you want an eraser, I offered them. Come on up now. And I'm drawing pretty dark. I guess I'm kind of confident. I don't know what's going on. That's a little dark. So there's a trick if you guys want to do the other eye exactly the same. I've showed it to some people. Does anybody know what it is? It's kind of what we did when we did our watercolor palettes when we were drawing them. If you wanted to trace this and cut it out and flip it over, that's an easy way to do an eye if you're having so much trouble making it symmetrical, or transfer it. But if you want to do your other shape, look in the mirror or look at a picture, try to get a tear duct. I don't know how to describe that. It's kind of a little triangle that's curved. Goes straight up. And you'll get better the more you practice. I know I say that a lot, but it is very true. That's why some people are so good. Oh, dang, you guys, I failed. Go down further. Make sure you don't start in the middle. Start a little lower than middle. Dang it. And then make that weird looking, like, looks like a bird. So shallow at the bottom. Don't be too lazy to erase. Yeah, mine are not the same, but it's alright. I can't worry about perfection today. I'm just going to kind of force myself to go with it. I'm a perfectionist too. So if you guys are like, just try your best, and then the more you practice, the better. You can see one of my eyes is definitely a different shape. They look like lemons, right? Do your eyes look like this? Like maybe your eyes don't have this dramatic of, draw it the way you know. My favorite thing is doing like the top eyelid really dark to show your eyelashes. That's why I was saying I drew a little dark. Alright, pupils are going to be all different. I'll wait like 30 more seconds at least. But what part of the pupil is covered and what part is not covered? Does anybody know what I mean? Can anybody tell me what part of the pupil or the iris is covered? The iris is the colored part. The top or bottom? The top is covered some, right? The bottom of the iris, the colored part, barely touches this bottom part. So what I'm going to do, I guess I can't help this, I'm going to do it. Draw a separation first between the tear duct and the white part of your eye. I can't help that, I had to do that next. The other thing I was taught that I really like is in the outside corner of the eye, there's also a very teeny tiny triangle that's very dark. So look, if you just kind of draw a straight line up and a little triangle over, ooh, that one looks bad. You know, judge it, erase if you don't like it. I just fixed something. There's a little triangle outside, and now I'll draw my iris. And that's shiny, you guys can't see it, there you go. Alright, so now I'm going to draw my pupil. Listen, don't make it too big. Make sure that there is an equal space of white on either side. Some people make the iris way too big. It's kind of hard to explain how exactly to do it, but you just want to make sure there's white on both sides of the eye. So I'm going to, look, just barely touch the bottom, and I'm going to let the top get covered. I always make my person look really sad somehow. So if you can try to just scribble out a nice circle, let the bottom just barely touch. Sometimes I have to make the eyelid a little thicker at the top. Ooh, that was not perfect. I like to fix it if I do it wrong too. Sometimes there is a little space between the iris and the bottom eyelid, especially if you're looking up. There's a huge space. My person just looks so sad. I'm going to make that go away. So I'm doing something that's a habit. I'm already making my top eyelid a lot darker. I love doing that. And then one of my favorite parts, I love shading the inside the eye. I hope you guys like that too. If you have brown eyes, we're going to just act like the bottom's a little bit lighter anyway. It probably is. But I just kind of gave away my other answer. Alright. So there are highlights in your eye. Do you guys see how many there are? Look how many lights are in my room. There's like 3 or 4, right? If you have a mirror, it's easy to see. Also, since the lights are down, our pupils are not too small, they're not too big, they're kind of medium sized. So if you have dark eyes, you might not be able to see it. This is how I do it. Watch. It's kind of like an upside down C, and I'll draw squares wherever I see highlights, and I make them bigger than the highlight. So wherever I see a highlight, I'll start my circle. Most of the time there's a highlight that crosses over the pupil and the iris. Ooh, I've got a big, huge highlight right there. So I personally draw squares. You can draw circles. As long as they're bigger than what you're about to draw, because when you start to shade it in, it gets smaller. So I would say maybe draw a couple of squares across your eye wherever you see wherever you see highlights, pupils. You could draw as many as you see if you want. And then one of the darkest spaces, there's 4 completely black spaces on the face. One is your pupil. You can do this kind of gray in some spots, but I would do it as black and as dark as you possibly can. And then don't fill in the little highlights. I almost did. Mine's going to be shiny because I pressed so hard. Yep. So make sure that you do that completely black. I can't show you guys for real. There you go. See how black that is? Ooh, wait till we do eyelids. Eyelids make it. Alright, if you have not gotten rid of like all of this extra stuff around the face, around the eyes, get rid of it. And if we don't get to hair, like, I don't know if I'm going to cry. Maybe I'll help maybe I'll help people that really want to learn hair. I'll just do whatever we get to today. Alright, my favorite part. This is the most amazing. So you guys can show this or not. I would try to do it just to make it look more like a realistic eye, but if you have brown eyes and your eyes are very dark, you still might want to make the bottom a little bit lighter. Why is the top darker on the iris? What makes it darker? Like, can you look in the mirror and you guys see, I don't know if you can see it or not. Why is it a little bit darker at the top? What's making that shadow? The light is, but it's from what? What's creating it? There's 2 things you could say, actually. What's above your eye that makes the shadow? Eyelashes or eyelids, sure. Or maybe even your eyebrow, I don't even know. But your eyelashes make a shadow on the white part of your eye and the colored part. So watch, this is so cool. It's kind of like a sunburst where it's coming out from the middle. And I'm going to do it, actually you can go out in from the outside. Oh, maybe I should sharpen my pencil. Sorry. Come on, sharpener, be good. Alright. So I'm going to go, actually, I'm going to darken outside of the iris real quick. Make that a little thicker. That's generally kind of dark. And then I have green eyes, so I can see all of this. If you guys want to copy it or try to do yours, it's okay. However you want to do it. So I'm going to go like in from the outside. And I'm going to do it darker at the top. But I'm using lines, watch. Light lines at the bottom. And darker lines at the top. You can actually go out from the outside, in from the outside and out from the inside. That was kind of awkward. So that you have these lines that kind of meet up. And then the bottom of it is lighter. Here, let me show you. There you go. That looks kind of cool. If you look in the mirror, there are those lines on a lot of eyes. I mean, mine's kind of a little bit smoother, but so maybe I'll push my lines together. But on the top, it should be actually pretty dark. The bottom, if you have brown eyes, don't do it so light. And then you can just get lighter. If you get too dark, just pop it with your eraser. I mean, it's funny because if you speak any language, you could probably still follow me, right? Because I'm just doing the do what I do kind of thing. Alright, we actually have like 4 parts still to do. Top eyelid, shading on the top eyelid, shading on the eye, eyelashes, bottom eyelid. Oh man, we still have to do a little bit. I'm going to see how you guys are doing real quick so that I don't move on. It's actually kind of fun to do both at the same time. I usually don't do it at the same time. Cool. I'm happy to see you guys are following along. Alright, we gotta do a top eyelid. Hey guys, my top eyelid's gonna probably look different than you all. You just wanna look behind your eye, and it's actually a dark line that pretty much follows the shape of your eye, but sometimes it doesn't. So look at your eyelid line in the mirror. And you want to draw, mine's actually different on this eye because the light. Mine kind of goes up and then gets to a point and then it curves. This eye is so weird. I actually love to do this little bit of shading from the eyelid forward. Because behind the eye, it's actually a lot of dark shadow. So I just did a little bit of shading in front of the eyelid line, on the eyelid, I guess I should say. The next thing I'm going to talk about, I have a student who could not see this before, but ladies, if you've ever worn eyeliner, it might be that little lid at the bottom of your eye where you place eyeliner. If you don't see this in the mirror, you don't want to draw it, you don't have to, but with a very sharp pencil, And I'm going to kind of erase a little bit real quick. If you actually draw this line, it looks so much more realistic. But it's this little teeny tiny lid that we're just do that actually reflects light. That's where your eyelashes are going to come from. So on both eyes, I'm going to do, oh, it's so hard with a dull pencil. I'm kind of sharp. If you can get this to work, I would try to remember to do it when you draw eyes. But there's a little teeny line underneath the eye. If you can get that teeny little double line. And then there's one more thing before we do eyelashes, which I was taught by my high school art teacher. I would have never felt to do it. And noses and mouths don't take this long, so I hope we at least get those two things. If you're going to do an eye anytime, I mean, as long as you get like a eye shape, you know, and your pupil darker, like as long as you have that shape, you can do an eye when you paint later. It doesn't have to be perfect. Are y'all ready? Before we do our eyelids, underneath, look real quick. Come on with me. On the white part, you want to do the lightest shading on the top half of the eye. Look, it's hard to tell what I'm doing, but I'm like, I have my pencil like barely pressing, and I'm shading the top half of the white part to make it look like the eyelashes are creating a shadow. Can you guys see that? I guess you can. So I shaded the top half of the white part, and then I'm going to darken the top eyelid line where the lashes are going to come from and make that like way thicker. That makes your eye look really good. In the tear duct, you could actually like kind of do a couple of lines, make it a little bit grayer. Alright, here we go. On the top eyelid, make that lash line like thicker, look at me, and darker. Mine's probably shiny. No, it's not. Good. Okay? Darker and thicker. The top line. Any eye you draw, you should always do that line darker, unless they have white eyelashes. Like, that's the only reason I wouldn't do that. Alright, here we go, eyelash time. If you don't have a sharpener, you might want to sharpen your pencil. It's important to have sharp, thin lines. If you have one, do it real quick. Oh my gosh, mine's going to break if I use it. And I'm just going to teach you my basic way. There are lots of different ways you can do it by looking at pictures. I'm going to suggest don't do more than like 15 eyelashes. Sometimes we do too many. Actually, you guys want to see the wrong way? Here, let's do it right here. Here's the wrong way. Ready? Somebody's like, that's me. What do eyelashes look like though? What's wrong with it? What'd you say? They curl. Oh, I heard something else. They make little triangles, actually. They do. So, I've never heard a class actually know that. That's awesome. So, when I do it, have you guys ever drawn grass before? Like, where you make quick little flips up? This is kind of weird. Have you ever like drawn grass? And you make these little quick flips? It's kind of like drawing grass, but you make a curve to it. I'm just making that really weird, but ready? Oh, crap. Sorry. I can get this one. He was like, I need another knife. stand at the door and look. You can take my bag. All right, guys. So I would actually draw it kind of lightly at first, but what I do is I kind of go straight up, and then you can kind of draw the next one to it. And then I just kind of go crazy. Look, listen. Don't draw your center ones too long. They come forward, but the side ones are the long ones. So you kind of go up, and then you could draw a triangle to it. But don't make them even. Like, make them a little bit uneven, and then darken them. And the more you do it, the more you do these, like, weird little quick flips. You kind of go, this is what I did. I went up, and I drew to it. And then you do some, like, weird ones in between. I don't know. I kind of do it pretty well sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, what did I do? If it's not right, again, if this is your first try, you can get better. Alright, I'm going to do my bottom ones, and then I'll talk through it on my other one. Just don't make them too perfect. Oh, dang it, I did it on the side where I have to put my hand, so I'll show you bottom eyelashes on the other eye. Sorry, I have to cover this one up. I'm going to do top eyelashes. See if I can do it over here. There we go. Oh, see, those are perfect. Sometimes I can do it well, sometimes it's like awkward. Don't make them all the same direction. Make some that kind of go straight. Those are all kind of the same. Maybe you draw back in, too, instead of always up. That was actually a good idea. And then have a couple maybe that are over on the left side. But they're dark. Mama, why don't you grab your artwork? Alright guys, let's do bottom eyelashes. They're not as long. They're actually quick little flips. There's like, ooh, 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 ooh. Whatever you're going to kind of. They just kind of jump off there. Maybe start lighter. They're shorter. They're definitely uneven. They kind of make X's sometimes. I just happen to do them pretty well my first try today. Sometimes I can't get it perfect. I think those look pretty good. Alright, so let's take a minute, kind of get ourselves caught up. Don't do too many. Make sure you only do like 10 or 15. Make them dark though, and the top eyelid line should be dark. Can I show you? Can I do that? I know it's a long process, guys. Noses are okay. I'll do one on this side. So if you have that little bit, Alright, I'm going to try noses and mouths. I think we can do it with cleanup in the time we have. Pretty sure it's kind of weird. Maybe. I'd like to try to get noses at least. If we have to finish up mouths another day. Probably do that on the day. No big deal. Alright, did anybody get some oh, you know what else? Ears are really easy too. I think ears are easy. Alright guys, erase everything inside the nose shape. If you don't have those lines at the top yet, I'm going to draw them again. Alright. Can everybody see my face real quick? Come on, you're not doing your work today, right? I mean, if you're doing it, I don't care. Alright, everybody look where I'm touching my feet. Inside the bridge of the nose, right? We need to draw those lines. I actually did not draw it. I drew it already, but I erased it. Okay? Most people think it's kind of weird that the eyes are so far apart, but without those lines, that's what creates the shading inside the nose. I have actually very deep eyes, I guess, where if I draw this leads you right up into your eyelashes. Your eyebrows. So like all of this for me, I actually smudge when I do faces, which I rarely ever teach that too, Cody, right? I'm like, don't smudge. Oh, we also probably need a little bit of like a bottom eyelid down here. So what I'm doing right now is kind of light shading, but noses are all shading. And I will probably smudge this later. But I did a little bit of cross-hatching. I'm drawing basically straight down. And I'm actually going to smudge it now. I'm crazy. Look at that. Crazy. If you smudge it, it does look a little bit better. And if your face does not have this dark of a line, get rid of it. Like, you don't need it this dark. But shading the negative space around the nose, outside of the nose, is what makes the nose stand out. Like, I have some pretty dark lines there. I'm erasing it a little bit and then smudging it more because I made it too dark. And eyebrows are another whole story. I'm not doing that right now. Alright. So I'm going to stop about halfway down because I still don't want to draw the nose all the way down. Like, this actually, it is supposed to be only shading. Alright, noses are one of those things. I probably should actually show you guys on, here's the lesson. Look real quick. This is today's Padlet. If you scroll down, you guys could look at this at home. Here's the nose PowerPoint. I want you guys to see the difference in noses. Actually, this is the one, okay? I don't necessarily actually draw this, but you guys could do it for yours. Look at your, it's called the septum, right? Some people get this pierced septum, right? So is your septum higher than your nostrils? Like this one, your nostrils are lower. Is it straight across, or actually like mine, my septum is lower than my nostrils and it comes down lower? So what you need to know and what you need to draw is where your septum is. I'm going to draw mine, or maybe I'll draw it even, I don't know. But if you want to do these circles, I don't actually do that. But you need to look and see how your nose is different right now. And mouths are kind of similar. There's actually, like, on all my slideshows, I put up tips and steps. These are my PowerPoints. I did copy the pictures from online of noses, but this is all my information that I found for you. I love that. That's awesome. So get out of there. Okay. So this is how I teach how to do noses. It kind of looks like a ram, like a ram's head. It's kind of weird. So I do, look, in the middle, an under curve. You guys want to do that with me? I'm actually going to get rid of all these lines, but at least I know where it is. You need to know how wide you're going and the line that you're doing it on. But I'm erasing mine so that I can just draw on top of it. And if you guys want to watch for a sec, or just do this part and then catch up. Ready? So here's the weird, like, ram's head. So if you can draw something that starts like that, I don't know why I think it looks like a ram's head. If you like astrology, the Aries sign looks like that. Kind of like that. Maybe a little bit more curved. Alright, ready guys? Look. Please look. Skip a space, do not draw there, and you're going to draw the shape. Is your nostril really tall? It's like this is a C, maybe it's a little bit flatter C, but you have to skip a space between that inner line and the outer nostril. And if you have something like that right now, I think that turns into a pretty good nose. And then we're going to shade it, direct the shading. I love it. There's definitely other ways to do it. This is just my way. But it generally works. Alright, nostrils, eyelids, like where the top eyelid is, and the pupil are 3 of your 4 dark spots. Guys, are you looking up your nose like you look like a pig, or do you have, look, just a little teeny bit of dark, and then it fades to light? And then you can do some shading basically around your nostril eventually. But noses are not very black. There's not much of a dark line. Like right in here, it's dark. It's kind of like a teardrop shape of darkness. It's like a poem. And then I kind of shade around that nostril at the bottom. Your nose probably looks different than this. This is not my nose either. I'm just trying to do a little bit of a generic nose. And then I'm shading around the negative face of the nose right now because that's what it does. And that creates the shape. Alright, the last thing. This part's cool. Like right now it's a big triangle. Some noses, all noses are totally different. So it's hard to teach a basic nose because they're all so different. But have you guys ever done this, where there's like a circle, like a clown, on the tip of the nose, and then you kind of shade it like a sphere. So it kind of comes in here, and in here, and meets. See what I did on the top? I brought it down and I met it, and the right side, it looks like a clown. But I'm going to shade the right side of mine. You guys might want to shade the opposite side because you have light hitting you the opposite of me. But it's whatever you want to do. Like, I'm going to go, if you want to watch for just a sec, from this side down and around that circle and underneath. I also am leaving this white line. I don't know why, because I know it's there. That little teeny white line. I'm actually looking at my face right now. This comes down. This is my highlight, so that gets erased on the left side. And then I can kind of shade up this, kind of the center, and then just shade in where it's darker. If you're looking at something, it's easier. Like for me now, I can shade in the darkness of my eye, the whole right side of my face. Underneath my nose, there's a shadow. Like I'm just kind of going for it for a second. I'm not really talking about it. All of this is darkness. My shadow's on the right side. My right nostril has some shading on, like outside it. This is not super white either. I made my nostrils too wide. Oh well, no big deal. Noses used to be like, this is okay for my nose, but they used to be really, really hard for me. Like I could not get it to look 3D, but if you try it like this, and as long as you're working, we're all together, we're not competing. So try to use this as something to make you better. Mine looks alright. Not mine, but alright. I guess we need to finish up with mouths. I'll do mouths, ears, and a little bit of hair on the side. And then we're going to paint them. That's pretty good. I was just going to put it down with one another. That's pretty good. That's how we put it down with one another. Alright, we have about 5 minutes. How many people feel like you would admit that you improved a little bit? Anybody feel like they improved a little? Cool. I see some hands. Good. Thanks for following along. If you guys borrowed a mirror, can you bring it back up, or pencils? Hey guys, if you could just make a nice pile of all of your worksheets at the top of your desk, just put them all in a pile at the front of your desk together. And then bring me sharpeners, pencils, erasers. I hope you feel like you're learning something. Next class I'm going to finish up. Let's finish up now, please. Alright, some lights are coming on. Man, it's bright over here now. Alright, so what I'm looking for is if you have rulers out, put them back in on. There's a nice piece If you guys have questions for me, it's on the mind, or just go to the drawing. The box right here, I have to take it home. It's Friday. I feel like Monday a little bit. Hey guys, do you mind throwing away your names or keeping it? Guys, can you throw away your names, please, or something? Throw away your sketchbook. I might try to put out my third period names real quick. Let me turn the recording off. Let's see if I'm actually recording this time. Okay. So let's try to get started on the shading of the mouth. So far, all we've done is the shape. What I want you guys to notice, and can you guys stop and just look for a little bit? Look up for a little bit, please. All right, our lips are round, and I feel like our nostrils make the similar shape that we're about to shade. So what I'm going to do, look, very, very lightly, I'm going to show you that the lips, because they're round, have these, it looks like a lip ring, but they have these very round lines that we're going to create. So what you may want to do first, lightly, please, is draw the direction that you're going to draw your lines to make your lips look plump and round. They're not flat, okay? This will most likely disappear, or I'll erase it a little, but I'll show you in my first portrait from first period what I mean. Can you guys tell how I shaded with round curved lines to make them look round? Can you see that? Okay, that's what I'm going to do with this. Alright, so it looks like hair sometimes, so you may want to make your lines close together, but if you have chapped lips, it's actually just like this. But I end up going kind of weird. I'm like, I do it like up from the bottom, and then I'm going to get lighter on this side, but I'm still using curved lines, and I just do it a little bit darker underneath because it's going inside my mouth. So I'm using these like curved lines that are rounding, curved into the left, making like a C on the left side. And then on the right side, I'm curving back like the side of a D. When you use curved lines to shade, it makes things look round. And the next goal would be to connect them, right, and come down from the top. Okay, so I'm going to take the very same shape and come down from the top and just try to make it neat. On the right side, I'm going to get a little lighter. And if I just take it and come up with it and then go down with it, it'll make your lips look kind of round. If you're like, this looks like a mustache, maybe you want to shade a little side to side, or like pop it with your eraser, I don't know. I'm sorry I even say that, because it's like a new way of talking about my eraser. I think I'm avoiding saying dab it with your eraser, so everybody's like, oh my god. So I say pop it with your eraser now. My top lip is going to be a little bit darker than my bottom. Why did I do variation in the color? Why did I make one side lighter? Does anybody know? Can you see it on your lips? Like, my one side is a little bit lighter. So maybe it's because of the lighting, but it kind of curves back around your face, and it's like that plump little circle that one side's lighter and one side's darker sometimes. All right, the bottom lip's easier. Does anybody need any help? Are you okay? It's not the best looking thing. You don't even have to do these hairs looking lines. You can just shade the whole thing like one shade. I mean, you can just shade the whole thing like this. I think that's what I love to make it look good. I do have this. I'm just ready for one of those. Alright, thanks for being patient. I'll be right with you. So this is hopefully good enough. Alright guys, if I have a highlight, like I'm looking at Sydney, if you have a highlight on the bottom of your lips, do you want to add any shading there? If it's white, you don't. Like in the highlight of your eye, you don't put any shading, okay? So you may actually want to draw out where you're not going to shade. I'm not going to do any shading all in here, in that middle little oval, okay? So I drew, it's hard to see. I draw so lightly. And then I actually have to get rid of it or it's going to show up. So I know that I'm not going to shade there. So I'm going to bring my lines from the bottom up. And I switch at the middle. And then I'm just going to keep going. Looks like a campfire or something. You can bring your lines closer together, but I'm trying to keep them light. And then I'll come down from the top lightly on the sides only, and then in the middle. Most people kind of have like a little line in the middle of the lips though. But see how I left that whole middle area lighter? I did draw that dark line because some people have that, but right underneath the top, like in the middle of the lips, the top lip makes a shadow. And the whole thing got really dark, so I'm going to just tap it with my eraser, get it a little bit lighter. Maybe make my top lip a little darker. usually from far away they look pretty good. And then we're moving on to ears and eyebrows. I like this next part a lot. Make sure you guys do a dark lip line in the middle, okay? There are basically just like 5 dark spaces on your face. Can you tell me so far that we've done? Like, what else is black on your face when you draw it? Not necessarily. Look at what we've drawn so far. There's 3 other things that we've done that are black already. Not the lips. Where on the nose is dark? Inside the nostrils. That's 1 black space on your face. What's another thing? Not the whole eye, but there's 2 spots on the eye that should be black. Pupil. I do it like right on my top eyelid where my eyelashes are coming off. I make that very dark. So there's 4 spots that are black so far. The pupils, the eyelid line, the nostrils, and in between your lips. Okay, and the last one I do is in my ear. Sure. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start shading above the nose, or above the mouth. I love this part. It's so weird. I don't know. Check this out. There's like, does anybody not have it, or do you guys actually see this like mountain looking like divot? I draw like from my lip up to my nostril. Check this out. If you try this, it should look pretty cool. And I've been alternating darks and light sides. Whoops, I shouldn't do that. But I'm going to make my dark side on this right side of like a mountain. And under my nostril. So I'm going to shade under my nose and on this like mountain looking shade. And that's very sharp for how it really is. But if I shade from this mountain dark to light, it starts to look a little bit like it should. So I drew right on my line. I drew my lines from the point of my lips up to my nostrils first, and then I took that line and shaded dark to light out. And now I'm actually doing stuff without telling you. I'm shading next to my nostril on that side. And then I took the left line and shaded dark right under my nose and just faded away really fast and stopped. And that's a little bit of a sharp angle for that, but you get the point. I definitely don't have enough room for my chin, so I'm going to maybe make my chin a little bit bigger. So if you don't have enough room for a chin, your lips were down just a little bit low, I just made mine a little bit longer. And now the chin, there's actually like a line that makes it. Look in the mirror at yourself. Look at this line that curves down for the chin. Actually, some of you probably have a line that's really dark underneath this lip if it sticks off your face. And then this right side gets a little bit of shading. And I'm still like scribbling my shading. If you have any other lines on your face, like I have a line that comes from here to here, stuff like that, you could add that in. But all you need to do right now is the chin. And that looks a little crazy with so much shading, but. And we'll finish our shading in a little bit. Man, it looks like I'm a vampire. I did that line wrong. I'm just adding a bunch of extra stuff. Lines that I see. Okay, I'll stop. I love ears. So I'm going to teach ears next. We'll do eyebrows after that, and I'll try to teach you an ear shape. You don't see all that shade, I did all that downward circle. But underneath your It's nice to see that somebody care about learning something new. Alright guys, I'm straight up drawing my ears. Okay, so if you want to draw your own ear, put your hair behind your ears so you can see them, or you guys can copy me. Your ear may be the same as mine. They're not as different as hair. Hair's all different. But I'm going to move on to ears. Last period, I did it pretty detailed. I actually feel like your class will benefit from that. But I just drew a few lines inside and shaded. Okay? So make sure that you have the space to draw your ears. Crap, look, ours is too low. Did I do that? The ears, bless you, are supposed to line up with the top of the eye. So please double check. Did I just mess up? And you're going to need to get rid of all this eventually, but make sure you did it at the right line. Mine's wrong. And the shape of your face is also not really this round. It's like, might come down to a jawline. Alright. If you have lines that mark the outside of the ear, get rid of that. You're going to need to see it, but. Alright, whoever's in the band in the back, I need the band to hold off for a little bit. We're learning art today. Alright, so we know where our ears go. To the bottom of the nose and the top of the eye. First thing I want you guys to do is look at the shape of your ear. I actually started at the bottom of my eye. Hey guys, I need everybody to just be quiet and look for a second. No, you're in line, and this will be a good one to learn. Mario's next. Alright, you guys good? Look up for a sec. First goal is the shape of the ear. Thank you for looking. Okay? I'm going to do mine going out. It kind of looks like a butterfly. It comes back in and goes back out a little bit, and then it curves up. Again, this is my ear. So you guys can look at your shape. Don't go out too far. You look like Dumbo or something. Be careful drawing with your hand on your face, though. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the eye, curve back in, and go out a little, and curve back in. And again, it looks kind of weird. It's like a butterfly wing. So all I want you to do is get that shape for now. And I'm just going to get rid of all these notes that I really don't need anymore. The next step, if that's all you did, was the next step and shade a little bit, you could make it easier. Don't go out too far now.
I just make sure that
Yeah.
here. I know.
And don't say that. I used to say that. I think so. Alright, like I said, if you guys just do this next step and shade below it, all I'm going to do is imitate the curve at the top of the ear, and you can just shade below it and be done. But I'm going to show you a little bit more detail. I feel like you guys might appreciate it. So just trace or imitate basically the same shape you just did and just draw that. So you have the top. I maybe need to zoom out. So all I did was I imitated the top a little lower and brought it down. That represents that curl. And some people's ears don't even do this. So again, I'm drawing mine. You may need to look at your own. Alright, do you guys know what this part is? Like where you stick your finger in your ear, the part that's in front of your finger? What's that called? Anybody remember? Some people get it pierced. I think it's called the tragus, right? Right? So the next thing I'm going to draw is like that little lumpy thing. I think it's called the tragus. That like if you stick your fingers in your ear, it's the thing in front of your ears. So it's just a little lump, a little bump. And then I like to draw like down and do like a U underneath it. So draw your tragus and like a U underneath it. That's a pretty skinny U. Is a little bit detailed, but we're basically doing, check this out. Hey guys, see how, you hear me? Good? Alright, do two angled lines, like come up in here Actually, what's happening with mine? And it basically connects to my U, and I've got two angle vines facing in, like actually it's like a pencil width apart. So right in here, I'm going to go straight up, angle it to my head like this, and I'm actually going to connect that weird like underloop tragus thing to it. So that's kind of detailed. I don't expect you to have that perfect, but once we shade it, you'll be like, oh, that actually kind of looks like an ear now. You can see what this one looks like. So try to do just up from this curve, a line that goes at an angle up, and then from that U at the bottom, you're just going to follow the ear and then go up too. Same angle. And the next part's fun, I think. It's all shaded. Of course, I think shading's fun. Alright, it's black in your ear, so you can just shade this dark and lift up. Right behind that tragus is dark. In my ear, anyway. And then I lift up to medium. Okay, so next to the tragus, that pointy, lumpy thing, make it dark. And then I kind of shade and lift up a little bit. So I have to put it at an angle. That might be a little dark up top. It's alright. And then I'll do this one and I'll walk around and I'll do it again, but under the loop, guys, under the loop or the little curve at the top, the curl, you want to go dark to light. It's not dark the whole way down. So just kind of do dark to light shading from the top down. Here. Oh man, come on. I guess I need to zoom out. It's not bright enough. Okay, so I did it dark down in here, I faded it up, and then I did dark at the top and faded it lighter down. So by the time it gets to that weird like lumpy thing there, it's lighter. And that might not be totally light. But if that's too hard, I can show you an easier prototype. If you just shade down from the top, you don't even need that lumpy part. But that's realistic to me. Because that's what my ear looks like. There's definitely more lines, but if you want to do an earring or do piercings all over this person, like you could do like a nose ring. I was saying to my other class that they could do like, you could do a gauge or something, I don't know, whatever you guys want to do. But I would draw like the hole in the ear first. You could do a bunch of earrings on the ear. Or like little piercings. I gotta finish my other side real quick. So I'm shading down from the curl. And I'm getting lighter. And I really like the earring I made last period. I like this feather. I might do something like that again. Or like, it'd be cool to do like some made up design. So draw the hole that it's in. I'm just messing around. The feather was just fun, so. while people are catching up on making an earring. Alright, so we're moving on to eyebrows. I can barely see my drawing on that side. Eyebrows are next. Eyebrows are next. Oh, next. So we did next. Looking right here. And we'll leave you at 13. I'm going to do my neck and a little bit of a shoulder really fast, and then eyebrows will make it look really good. It'll make it look a little bit more complete. Alright, I had my first period class like put their fingers behind their ear. You can see that there's actually, I would say, it's like a finger, or actually it's like one finger width between my ear and my neck. Do you see that on my like real face in life? See how like my ears are out here? What I want to do is bring it in. It's about one finger width in is where my neck's going to start coming down. And I curve my neck out a little bit. So if I take this and come over about one finger width, I'm just making it up. And I start to bring this in and down. It's important to make sure that you get this person so the head's not just floating anymore. So draw yourself like a slightly curved line that's curving outward at the bottom. And you can actually add part of the neck, but the shoulders, the shoulders come down and like start curving a little bit flatter. And now they look nude, so I'm going to put some kind of shirt on them. I really like this too, like at the bottom here, if you want to make a shirt, I exaggerated this a little bit. I made it curve around the body. As long as you're not making it the same height as the neck, the shirt actually should be raised up above the neck a little bit. So that's like a collared shirt. It never just sits flat because it's on top of your body. But I would try to give them some type of clothing, then they look totally naked. Probably should give them some hair too. Alright, eyebrows are next. And then hair, and I'm just going to have you guys hand them to me today so I can grade them. Alright, we've got to look at my PowerPoint slide too, but here's the neck. Make sure you get a neck, make sure you've got ears finished. Thanks for being patient with you guys. We've got to get some good eyebrows on. I'm going to talk about hair and hair shape in probably about a minute. I think we'll be ready to, at least you can watch drawing eyebrows. If you have a sharpener, I would sharpen the pencil on people's eyebrows. I found a good sharpener. Anybody else want to use it? I would sharpen your pencil. Cool. That one looks really good. Yeah, my hairline on this one's too low too. I forgot I was recording. Might as well keep going. Okay. Please take a second and look up. I want you guys to understand hair shape. Okay? Stop what you're doing. You don't have to put your pencil down. I don't need that. But I need you to understand where we're headed. Okay? For eyebrows and any hair you do, if you have a mustache, if you have a beard, eyebrows especially, and any hair, you need a shape for it first. Okay? Then we're going to go into our details. Okay? So I'll get into hair shape with you, but it's the hardest thing I teach because everybody's hair shape is very different. Okay? Eyebrows are easier. Your eyebrows probably don't go all the same direction. So when I get there, we're going to go like up, sideways, and then some go down maybe. So we're going to think about which direction they go next. And then we're going to, you don't have to shade eyebrows, but for hair, we're going to actually add beautiful value. Excuse me, I totally appreciate your singing. But just hold up for a little bit. If you have black hair, dark hair, any color that's dark, notice that you have highlights from the lights in the room. It's not all completely black. If you have blonde hair, you don't have all white hair. We need to add variety of value and darks and lights in our shading, and actually we'll probably get different sections in it too. So that's where we're headed. I'm going to show you guys into eyebrows at least. I mean, we're good on time. I just really want to show you guys shading too. Hair just gets hard because it's so different for everybody. Alright, ready? Eyebrows. I found out that eyebrows are about an eye width. Look, check this out. An eye above your eye. So you take the measurement of one eye, the height of it, and I'm going to take my fingers and measure above, and my eyebrows are actually not too high. I did it too high in my drawing. So again, it's about one eye width above my eye. I'm going to do it on this side too. I just measure it with my fingers. This eye, actually, I did it right. So you want it to come across. Okay? One eye width above, not too high and not too close. Can anybody tell me where they start? Like, look at your eyebrows. Right above, are they above your tear duct? Are they part of your nose? Do they start above your iris? If you draw a straight line up, like, where do they start? What about yours, Olivia? You said tear duct? It might be a little bit over. Yours actually, I think, are further over. What do you guys think? Where do yours start? Is it above your tear duct? Exactly. Okay. So then do that. Draw a line above your tear duct and say, I'm going to start right here. Or mine actually start a little bit further over than my tear duct. Here, I'll zoom in. Okay. That's a good question. Do you have a proportion laid out so that you could just draw it like above? I don't know. Draw like a football or almond shape for your eye and just kind of act like it's there. It definitely isn't as easy. Alright, where do your eyebrows end? Do they end at the end of your eye? The outside line of your eye or not? What do you say? Do your eyebrows end before your eye, after your eye, or straight above it? Is anybody looking? Brianna, you tell me about yours. Look at your eyebrows in the mirror. Ready? Oh, and I mean, I'm picking on you, I'm not. Look straight down from where the end of your eyebrows on the outside ends. What's right below it? Is it your eye, or is it past your eye, or is it before your eye ends? Can you tell? Is yours right at the eye? If yours is right at the eye, then draw a straight line right above there. Okay? Mine is actually further by like a whole pupil. So I'm going to make my shape. Oh crap, I forgot about the arch. Do you guys see where your arch is in your eye, some of you? We found out first period it's right above the outside of our iris. So we have like a little arch that comes up right here and then goes down and ends further past my eye. If yours ends at your eye, stop it there. So the first thing you want to do is draw a shape. Use guidelines like I just did to figure out where it starts, where it stops. What does it line up with? Okay, so I'm going to have to do the same thing on this eye. Mine's actually further in. Okay, this is where my arch is. And then mine ends about a pupil width outside of the eye. So mine go up and then down. Try to figure out the shape of yours. Mine might be a little bit too high up. I think I did mine too high. Oh well. Give yourself a shape. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. You have to look and reference your face. Mine are this thin. Most people don't see theirs. This could be even thicker. Alright, cool. If you guys want to sharpen your pencil, you can. But eyebrows are the same as eyelashes. They're imperfect. You want to make them a little bit wrong, like not even. Okay? A little bit overlapping. I got to get rid of my marks. But just give yourself an eyebrow shape. And Bree, what we were looking at, if you want to hear me real quick, I started my eyebrow further in than my tear duct. Yours might start right above your tear duct. The arch is like basically right above the iris, so I kind of went up to my iris, and then it ends, mine ends like an eyebrow width past my eye. So I just made it go up and then down to there. So now we're going to draw our direction of our lines. You guys probably want to look in the mirror for this, but I'm going to go straight up. My eyebrows definitely go a little bit up first, and I'm going to draw little teeny tiny, it's still like a caterpillar, but teeny lines, and then they start going over. Mine aren't this dark, so maybe I should lighten up a little bit. And then they actually start to go further over, and then I have ones coming from the top down. So just make sure you don't make it totally perfect. I have a lot that are kind of overlapping in here, but hair is all lines. All you have to do is draw lines for hair, and you just have to fill it in. So again, my middle, I'm just going to do the other side and then I'll walk around. So straight up, slanted. Some are curved, some are straight, some spots are missing. And some come down to it. Like, just look in the mirror at yours. I'm making mine a little too wide for mine, but oh well. mustache or any facial hair, you would do a shade percentage work first, and then draw lines in that shade work. And hair I'm going to have to do kind of quickly, but that's okay because we're going to be making that shape on it. As planned for the week, next class you are going to get a chance to take your picture of your final portrait. And Mr. Ryan is going to start teaching with us on Wednesday, and then on Friday she's going to be going to put you aside. This is actually going to be you listening, your artwork for your final exam. So Marcus, come to the scene right here. This artwork is going to be, you're fine. This is going to be your artwork that you write about for your final exam. It used to be a huge test with multiple choice and matching. It was horrible. And now you just have to write about how this is inspired by an artist. And I'll give you the questions, but we're going to finish painting this down for art show. These portraits, if you like, them could be part of your hair shapes, if you guys want to look online, you can. I'm going to stop this because